Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. G'day,
Good
Hibbs.
evening.
How are you, mate?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing really good. Good. Thank you so much for joining.
Uh-oh, got some echo going on.
So, sorry about the little bit of a delay. I had to postpone our conversation a little bit. um, got a little bit sick last week, and I was flat out even talking, and first time getting COVID, so it was a bit of an interesting week. But anyway, for Christmas,
Ooh, I'm getting a lot of echo.
I'm getting some echo there, mate. So, good morning, good afternoon, Chris. How are you, mate? Boom. How are you, mate? So, Nibs, how's your evening?
Yep,
Yep. You got me?
I do, but it's echoing. I'm hearing everything I say about 3 seconds after I say it.
Have you got the stream going on another screen?
Oh yeah, hold on a sec. I think I got it. So I should only have it going on here.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's a lot
or if
better.
you want to have the
Okay.
stream open, just click it on the
I
YouTube.
muted it on. I muted it on the YouTube stream.
There you go.
Okay. I don't do this much.
No
Hey guys,
worries.
who we got? We got Chris. We got Uncle John on there. That's
TJ. G'day, TJ. Hope you're doing well, mate.
TJ.
Thanks for
Hi,
coming
TJ.
along as well.
Jim Ashby's on.
G'day, Jim.
He's
I thought we'd jump into the questions, and obviously, you're a man of many talents that I'd like to get to know you and learn more about you. So, the first question is I always ask everybody, how did you come up with the name of Walnut and Steel?
Honestly, it is kind of I kind of stole it from somebody else. And so there's a series of books written by a guy named Bill Ward, I believe is his name. And they're Walnut and Steel 2, and he just came out with Walnut and Steel 3. And I just like the name of it and the whole premise that it kind of, enveloped, kind of the idea that real guns are made out of wood and steel, not necessarily walnut, but I like the way that rang. I do have some nice maple and other types of wood that I really enjoy on my guns too. So, but yes, I do have a lot of plastic guns too.
So what do you prefer, timber or the laminate plastic? What would you prefer?
Honestly, I do like the wood. I just like the feel of the wood. It doesn't get so cold, and I just grew up shooting. I showed you that picture earlier, and we could probably put it up now just as a as a background or whatever. I'll share that with you guys right now. Hold on a second. And
yes, because you're the man with the one or two firearms, and
right.
Certainly a great collection. So I'd love to dive into that, and that way we can learn more about your collection and how you get your firearms and how that all works.
Well, it's I say it's all good, clean living, but so this one here is actually it's a Mossberg model 146 BA, and they started production in like 1954, and that one was actually bought for my father as like his first rifle when he was a young teenager. He had it growing up, and then when I got old enough to start shooting guns, this was the first real firearm that I ever shot. And it passed hands when my father passed away. It's passed through a few other people in the family's hands, but eventually it did come back to me, and I still have it here. I shoot it off, and I've got a number of videos on my channel about it, but it's a great gun. When I got it, it's it's no show winner now. It looks pretty much like that right now. But when I got it, it was pretty beat up. There was a lot of scratches and rust on the barrel. There was a really chintzy, cheap, probably 80s, Tasco scope or something like that on there. All the sights were missing off it. And I took it upon myself to kind of restore it back to its original glory. And I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks really good, especially how it's got that story where it was with your father, now it's with you. And
yeah, but I mean, I just me alone, I've probably shot 4,000 or 5,000 rounds through it at least. So over the years, can't even imagine how many squirrels and rabbits and grouse that I've killed with that thing when I was a teenager. But,
certainly a really cool looking rifle. And like I know that you've got a lot more. So what are some of the rifles that you have in your collection there, Nibs?
Well, this kind of, I had this one. It really kind of started it out for me, and then I started getting into military surplus stuff, and then I realized that they had military trainers that were 22s, so that became a whole nother genre of guns that I like to collect. And let's see here, I can share this one with us here. Let me share this one with you guys. This is some of my like antique Target 22s. Then most of them are actually Target or military trainers or military surplus. Really cool stuff. So like this bottom one, the one on the bottom here is a Stevens model 416. That one's U.S. military marked. The one on the top is a Winchester 52C. That's also U.S. military marked. I think several of these other ones are. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. This one, the second one down, is a Winchester 52 that is an early production one, only probably 3 or 4 months into the production, the original production of the 52 in 1920. March of 1920 is when the serial number was created for that one. So some pretty interesting stuff. And as you can see, I kind of like my old vintage scopes too.
Yeah, like definitely. I've seen a lot of your videos. You're using a lot of the old vintage scopes, and what would be your go-to vintage scope?
Well, I have the inertals are really great. The 52C on the top there has an inertal on it. I hate buying them. I mean, I have bought several off of eBay because I got really good deals on them, but I hate buying scopes like that from offline because you don't know what you're going to get. And so far I've gotten pretty lucky. But the inertals are really good. I like the Stevens has a Fecker on it. I've got a couple of those. They're really good. Recently, so the third one there has that's not it. It's not in this picture, but I have a Bausch and Lomb, which is very interesting. I usually have that on my Remington 37, and that's a Boom says Nibs needs more plastic semi-automatics. You're right. I can't participate in half of Eli's stuff because I don't have any plastic semi-automatics. So
It's just not your thing, or you're just not interested in them, or?
Well, I mean, I had a 1022 years ago, and I just hated stuff in those magazines. I Just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of magazines. You know, I quite like the single load.
Yeah.
You just put it in, bang, put it in, bang.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a little single stack, 5-shot magazine, but I'd rather have a I'd rather have a single shot tray most of the time myself.
Yeah, like that's the thing. And like a lot of our competitions, we're not allowed magazines anyway. Like with
Oh,
the
really?
rules, you need to have a single feed magazine in your rifle, or you got to have
Yeah.
a single load rifle. So um, it just makes it a little bit more fair, I believe, because with a magazine, obviously you can go bang, 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 bang if you find that ideal wind condition, but you just want to make sure that it's fair across the board. So obviously
Sure.
some rifles, such as the 54 in the Anschutz, a lot of them are single load.
Hmm.
Um, so you just got to try to make it fair across the board.
So after I started collecting some of these target bolt action guns that are a lot of fun. Let's see here. Let me share another picture with you guys. I started getting into pump action 22s, which I'm sure you're familiar with those, right?
Yes, definitely heard of them.
Yeah. So years ago, so actually, I had a very large Facebook page called Walnut and Steel, and they shut it down. I don't know, about 2 years ago now, and I just never restarted it because I was so frustrated with it. I had like 25,000 members on that channel there, and we used to do a lot of talking about pump actions and all that sort of thing. But so I still own most of these. I've sold a couple, but I actually have bought more than I sold. So this picture is probably about five. This is definitely pre-COVID. This is probably 2017, 2018. I did this picture, but there's just about everything you can imagine as far as Stevens and Savage and Remington and Winchester and a few names you've never heard of, and
Yeah.
most nobody's never heard of. There's a Fabizer. I believe it's this one on the bottom here is a Fabizer that was made by a little company down in Louisiana, down around 1900, 1903. And they were sued out of business by Stevens or by Savage because
Right.
their rifle looked a little bit too much like the Savage 1903. So they sued them out of business for patent infringement, even though I've had both rifles next to each other, and externally they look a little bit alike, but internally there's no similarity. So there's no way.
TJ is saying that he paints his plastic stocks to look like wood. He thinks that you might have a
Yeah.
picture of his Hauer.
Yeah.
So do you have a picture of that Hauer?
If I do, I don't remember it. I've had so many. I apologize, TJ, if you shared it with me. I don't recall, but I've had millions of pictures shared with me over all the years that I've between the Facebook and the YouTube.
So
But I've seen a lot of
25,000
nice
followers
stuff.
on Facebook. What happened with that? Why did you stop that?
Well, when I when I actually complained about it, I went through the back channels trying to get it turned back on, and they said that my page had nudity on it. People were displaying nudity, and there's absolutely. I mean, we had naked guns on there, but other than that, there wasn't any nudity. I had a really pretty about 5 or 6 other guys that were helping me with the moderation on that, and they were pretty sharp as far as getting anything taken down that didn't. About the only thing that we really got on there that didn't fit the bill that got taken down real quick was people with fully automatic weapons and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so that's a lot of fun. All these pump actions. I've done videos on most of these. I took 1 or 2 out this year to do videos on, but I really need to do some more.
I think this is a picture that TJ. Yeah, I actually misread that message. He was referring to my email.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I believe that is his painted Hauer.
Nice.
Hopefully that's right, TJ.
I've had a couple of Howas and almost in my hands at the gun stores and almost purchased them, but I just never did. So,
So out of your collection, how many firearms would you actually have?
oh, I couldn't even venture a guess. I stopped counting years ago. I used to keep a list of all the 22s I had, and just 22s, like old vintage 22s, and it was well over 200, like 250. I sold a bunch of stuff several years ago, like 4 years ago. I just started posting them on Gunbroker, and I sold 120, 140 22s. A lot of them were like things that I had doubles of, and I got rid of I had a lot of semi-automatics, and I just wasn't my thing. So I kept all the pump action ones that I liked and all the nice bolt action ones that I liked, and most of the lever action ones that I still have. But I sold off a lot of stuff, but I've bought a lot more back too. So I do have another picture. So besides rifles, I also like pistols and revolvers, and I'll show you a couple pictures of some things that I've got there. So let's see here. This is some revolvers that I have. Just a couple.
Yeah, just a couple.
And again, this picture is probably 6 or 7 years old now. I have actually sold, so there's a lot of variety there, but I sold a lot of stuff that wasn't Smith and Wesson or Colt, and actually replaced the ones that I sold. If I didn't have, so say like I only had one in 41 Magnum, and I sold that one, I would try to find one in Smith and Wesson or Colt, or 44 Magnum or something like that. I only have a couple of those. I have a lot of 38 specials, a lot of 357 Magnums, but that's a pretty good representation of what I still have, though.
G'day, Brian. He's jumped in. He's in awe of your collection.
Yep. So, what are you shooting these days? I know you got a couple of guns, right? What are you shooting for your Benchrest?
I certainly don't have a collection like you do.
No, but
I've got
it's about quality, not quantity, right?
Yeah, so I've got the Seiko, the P94S, and I've got an Anschutz 64.
Okay,
I don't know exactly what year it is because I bought it secondhand.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly sure what year it is, but it is.
So most of those Anschutz have like either a date stamp right on the barrel, just in front of the receiver.
Right.
So I think I have 3 Anschutz now, or actually I have 4 because I have a Savage Anschutz 64, which is the only reason it says Savage on there is because Savage imported it into the United States from Germany. It's every bit of 64 as yours is, or the other 64 that I've got. It just got Savage stamped on there because they imported it into the country. So
yeah.
But
no, it's a really, really good old rifle.
Yeah.
I purchased it as my first rifle because, at that point in time, I had no idea whether I was actually going to get serious into the sport shooting and everything like that. So I didn't want to invest too much money, and had no idea what shooting is and Benchrest shooting, and so I thought, I'll just get myself a cheap one, but a good quality one as well.
So is that 64 got the target stock on it? Is it a single shot only?
It is single shot, yeah.
Okay, because my Savage Anschutz 64 is the the match model with the, single shot only loading port. And then just this year, I bought a 64 that was made in 2002, and that one has a magazine well. But it did come with a single shot tray as well, so I can shoot it single shot it as well. So
I'll show you. I'll bring this up. So yeah, that is the small little collection that I've got there. So I've got the Seiko over here.
64 is the second one from the left there.
No, this one. Oh yeah, from the left. Yes, that is the 64.
Yeah, that looks just like my Savage Anschutz 64 that I got.
Yeah, no, it's a really good
really
one.
Cool.
This is a 54 Anschutz 54, but that's not mine.
Okay.
In this photo, but that one shoots really well. This 54 is customized as a Benchrest. It's got the carbon fiber stock on it. It's actually a pink stock, and they've put a bloop tube on the end of it, so it certainly can shoot, and the Night Force optics on it.
So I've never gotten into those. What do those bloop tubes do? I've never really. I mean, I've seen videos on them. That's like the tuner, right? Is that what that is? Or
yeah, it's not. The tuner obviously works on the barrel harmonics, where a bloop tube is more to equalize the pressures of the gases as it's coming out. So you can get you can purchase them, or a lot of the guys build their own, and like this one here. So a build your own job that just equalizes out those pressures when it's coming out of the barrel.
Yep.
And then at the end of it, it's got my what do you call it, Seiko, and I do have a newer one. No, that is it. Yeah, that's the. So that's where the as I said, that's the 64. So
Yep.
I don't.
So if you went down the barrel towards the receiver more, just before you get to the receiver on the left-hand side of that, there should be a date code stamped on that barrel.
Yeah, I'll have to go looking for it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but anyway, I got the book. Got a 54 book, but it's not, and it come with the original peep sights and everything like that. So I've never used those peep sights, but really cool. As I said, I'll have to go hunting for it. Can't really see it. Maybe it's in the photo. Anyway, I'll have to go hunting for that to see exactly sort of what year it was. So
let's see. Chris here commenting about how Kentucky Rimfire is happy with one of my 22s. So Chad and I we made a trade back in the summertime, and I had mentioned on one of my videos that I was looking for, so that Mossberg, I got a huge collection of Mossbergs, and one of the Mossbergs that I just couldn't find was a 144 LSB, which was the last version of that rifle to be to manufacture, and I just couldn't find one. And he contacted me via my email, and we worked back and forth, and I ended up trading. I had two Izmash CM2s, which is a single shot, offhand shooting, real nice shooting gun from Russia. And I ended up trading one of those to him, and he seems pretty happy with that. I'm happy with the LSB as well. So it's a nice rifle.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about you guys in the States. You can share and move rifles around and do your own sort of deals and whatnot.
So you have to have like a license for all your guns there, or
yeah.
Okay, so like long guns here are not like regulated or anything like that, or not on. Well, they're not on any official list anyway. But all the pistols, at least where I live, all my pistols I have to have on my pistol license, and so there's in a lot of states don't have that, but where I live is behind the Iron Curtain. So
Yeah. So this is my other rifle. It's still a version, still action with Vixen Andy competition trigger,
yeah,
Mueller barrel. Yeah, because this is something that I want to get into more, is actually getting into competition. So I pretty much had to sell a kidney, but
oh yeah.
it's an amazing rifle. Built.
So you got that set up and ready to shoot now, or
Yeah. Been playing with it, and it's already got myself a club win, and
oh nice.
got myself the PB with it. So
What kind of
certainly
ammo
shoots
does
really
that
well.
like?
Hey,
What kind of ammo does that like?
um, well, at the moment we're sort of going backwards and forwards with the testing, but because how hard Lapura is to actually get, I'm still using Centerex. Not Centerex. I'm using Ely Match.
Okay, yeah,
Simply because we can't get Lapua. Like, I don't know what
yeah.
it's like there,
It's
but
well, so in New York, it's hard to find good ammo too, and it's hard to find people that are willing to ship it to New York. And it was bad before, but last September they started this whole thing where now you have to have a background check done every time you buy a box of ammo. So before you just had to have a federal background check done when you bought a new firearm, which is ridiculous by itself. But now in New York State, if you want to buy one 50-round box of 22s, they have to do a criminal background check on you.
yeah, like Brian's like, how can you fit that license in your wallet?
So Brian, there's the main license that has your name and everything on it, and then they have what they call property cards, and each property card will hold 12 pistols on each side of the card, but you're only required to carry the card that has the pistol that you're carrying at the time, or the ones you're taking to the range with you at the time. So you don't have to have, I have 6 cards, so
Yeah.
I don't have to carry all 6 of them in my wallet all the time. I'd have a second wallet in my other pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Chris. Yeah, they definitely have restrictive laws. I've been down to Texas, and I'm really kind of liking the looks of that. Someday I might retire there.
well, like it's very restrictive. Like here in Australia, like we have, many different license types. So I'll bring it up because I know I do get a fair bit of questions about licenses and categories here in Australia. Like obviously different states have different rules, but this is where I'm from.
Mhm.
Category A and B is essentially the same thing, like any sort of rimfire or center fires, 223s, shotguns, that sort of stuff. If you want to apply for a semi-automatic, that's a category C. D, semi-automatic centerfire rifles. You even have to have a license if you want to have a bulletproof vest. In category E, the other main category is H. So H is for handguns. So you got to have your own sort of specific rules of what you can and can't do with handguns.
Right.
Some knives and crossbows, you got to have your own license.
Wow.
Machine guns, category R, but like it's nearly next to impossible to get. And some other restricted items like handcuffs and nunchucks. Certain circumstances you got to have licenses as well.
Doesn't sound much different than New York.
Yeah, so most of the categories are A and B. Like general everyday license is an A and B. I've got an A and B license. You just apply for it, and you don't have to do any further requirements with it, except you got to be a part of a sporting association, or if you're on rural property, you can have a category A and B for farming. Right. Category H for handguns, that's a whole different world. You got to have 5 shoots a year logged. and there's a lot more other restrictions that go into it. So certainly is restrictive of how far they can and can't go with it. And we don't have like your cards. We have PTAs. So you apply to every time you purchase a firearm, you got to apply for a PTA. It's like $20 or something like that. But you submit a PTA to the firearms license, wait 2 weeks, and then they'll send you a little letter saying it's approved. I've never heard of anybody being rejected of a PTA, but stranger things have happened, I guess.
Yeah.
And like once you get the letter, I just throw the paperwork into my filing cabinet and forget about it. The only time that you ever need to have those PTAs is if you actually get inspected, where you'll get somebody from the firearms license come through your house and have a look at how you're storing your firearms, check your paperwork. But they are very nice. They'll give you a call the day before and book in an appointment. So you got plenty of time to get your
here
stuff
they come at 3:00 in the morning, kick your door in.
Nah, not those guys. No, not at all. They'll turn up on if it's a public holiday. Nah, weekend. Nah, if it's wet. Nah.
Yep.
It's just going through the process. Obviously, like if you're doing illegal and bad things, they will come through and kick your door in. But that's just a normal search that police will do. But if they're just doing a general inspection, they're very, very cool and casual. And some of the guys have muzzle loaders and some of the old 22s and bloop tubes and tuners and everything like that. And the inspectors don't even know what half of these things are. So,
Chris asked a question on here. He says, "But nibs, you can't carry on your person, can you?" And yeah, I can. So in New York, the firearm has to be completely concealed and out of view from the public at all times, except for obviously when you need it. So there are certain restrictions. Can't be in a school or in an airport, obviously, or stuff like that. But yeah.
So Brian was asking if you had to move. How would that go with your collection?
I that's one of the reasons I haven't moved yet, because I don't know how it'd take a whole nother moving truck just to. And I wouldn't want anybody else to touch the stuff, so I'd have to do it all myself.
Is there any rules or regulations, or like if you had to move to a different state, or?
Well, if I did move, I wouldn't move to any state that had any needed pistol permits or anything like that. So that kind of really narrows it down pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, if I moved to another state that required pistol permits, I would have to definitely, go through the whole rigmarole and register all my pistols with them or whatever. But
is that much of a challenge in the States?
In some states, it sure is. There's George Inky. Hi, George.
George.
So yeah, like in New York, you got to like submit a package to your county sheriff's department, and then they do all the background checks. You got to have 4 people submit letters of saying you're just this side of Jesus, and get fingerprints, and then they do a 6 to. I've heard people say it takes up to 18 months in some counties, but it took me almost 6 months to the day from when I submitted my paperwork to when I got my license. That was a number of years ago now, but I don't know how it is in other states. I know like Maryland and New Jersey are really next to impossible to get. California is next to impossible. You got to show just cause, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going through the courts right now trying to beat that all down. But South Dakota, here I come.
Move the entire collection to South Dakota.
Yeah.
So in your entire collection, is there anything that you want, or is there like an ultimate dream rifle?
Oh boy, I don't know that there isn't like any like great superb gun that I absolutely have to have. I get what I like, and I've got just about everything that I could ever want, really. But there's always that one I walk in, and then there's that one shining on the wall, and gotta have it.
Indiana is also pretty much open, so you got options there, Nibs.
Yep. I'm trying to move south enough to where I don't have to deal with snow ever again. And I know it even snows a little bit in Texas every once in a while, but not very much.
Would you say you're in the New York area?
New York, yeah. We've got snow on the ground right now. It's supposed to be like 58 tomorrow, though, so it's going to be all gone, and then it's going to be in the 50s for a couple of days. So we're going to have to start all over again.
Yes, I seen in your video there the other day with the 52.
That was from last week, and it was really cold. That was last weekend. I was out today, did a couple. It was pretty good. It was in the 40s, so I didn't even have to wear gloves, and my hands were fine. So, but let's see what else. I got a few other pictures here. Let me see what else I got here.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting to see what you have in your collection.
Yep. So this is one that I didn't know I had to have until I found it. And this one's pretty interesting. So I'll share this one with you guys. Let me get this one up. This is a really interesting pistol that I never knew existed until I found this one in the store. So this is was made by a company back in the 1920s called the Rising Pistol Company. And that name might sound familiar to you. I know American people will know that name very well. So there was actually a machine gun in World War II that was called the Rising, I can't remember the model number, but the Rising submachine gun. And that was developed by H&R, and this fellow that actually owned this company, after his company went defunct, went and worked for H&R and designed that H&R submachine gun. But interestingly enough, before that, he actually worked for what's his name, John Moses Browning, and actually worked on the design team that helped design the 1911, well, the whole series of pistols that eventually became the 1911. He was part of that design team that helped work on that. He had immigrated from some other country. I don't remember what. Now I have a video on the whole history of it. And actually there's another guy, Millsrip Garage, and he has a real deep dive on his Rising pistol and the whole history of Mr. Rising. So that's a really interesting one. And it's a really great design. It actually has a 12-shot magazine, and it's semi-automatic. It's real easy to take apart. There's a little button on the other side. You pop that and the barrel pops up and the whole slide comes right off. You can field strip it in like 2 seconds for cleaning and everything. But its downfall was it came out at the exact same time as the Colt Woodsman, which looks a lot like this. And Colt had the name recognition, so they just never, they made like 5,000 of these in like the 3 or 4 years that they were in manufacture, and then they were just squashed out of business by Colt. I mean, nothing Colt did per se, but they just couldn't get any traction, because even though it was a great design and great pistol. So that's a real interesting one. And it looks, this one that I have looks like it's brand new. It even though it was made in like 1920, 1921, it looks like it's brand new. It looks like it was just made last week.
It does. Looks very nice.
And, I keep them all in oiled gun socks and take them out and rub them with a diaper every once in a while. No, I actually shoot this one. So this is one of those ones, kind of like the old high standards, that you really only want to shoot with, like standard velocity ammunition, because if a lot of people made the mistake of shooting these with high velocity ammunition, and the frames will crack on these, and a lot of the ones you find are damaged So, but that's a pretty cool one from the collection. What else we got?
Is that something that you do as well? Like you might buy like some damaged ones and put them together as a working model?
I haven't done a lot of that with actual firearms. I have a few, I bought a few like basket case 22s and restored them and stuff, but I didn't get into so much of that until I got into the air guns. All of this stuff up here in the back are all air guns. So let me just spin around here real quick. So this whole rack, I won't touch any of them so we can't get in trouble.
Yeah, we'll get in trouble.
So this whole rack right here are all Crossmans. So and they're all, well, this one here is a Benjamin. I made the mistake of putting that in there, but pretty much these are all Crossmans, and they're all the multi-pump pneumatics. And so these three here in the middle are their oldest model, the 101, which was their first model, and then the 102 and also the 100, which didn't come out for like 25 years after the 101 came out. And then these ones are some that were in the 40s and 50s, model 110, 120, 147. And then these three are all 760s, which are Crossman 760s. This first one is actually a first edition that came out in 1965. And then these two are actually marked for 1968. And so they're pretty cool. And then I got some other old stuff up here. I got a whole bunch of old daisies over here. You can't even see where I'm at here. Got a bunch of old daisies over here, like really old daisies. I got one from 1920, a couple from the 1930s. And then let me see here. Up over in here, I have a collection of guns from a company that was actually right here in New York, only less than an hour from where I live, in Herkimer, New York. And they're called the Quackenbush Company. And the three that I have up here date from anywhere from 1883. The number 4 that I have is dated from 1883. And then the number 5 I have is dated at 1905. And the number 1 that I have is dated to 1933. So pretty cool. Then I have a gem rifle right here that was made in Germany. And that one has a little placard on it that actually says Castleton Cricket. It's presented to some guy's name as an award at the Castleton Cricket Club in Castleton, England, and then stamped for 1903. So that really gives it a nice bit of provenance there. So, but everything I can find that was that model, that design was made before 1900, as early as 1873. So
certainly a lot of history, right, sitting there behind you. And is that something, I'm guessing you find fascinating, is the history of the firearms as well?
Oh yeah. I get something, and I do a lot of digging. I have some ADD, so I don't do as much digging. And I mentioned this guy already, Millsirp Garage. I don't know if you've ever seen his channel, but if you're interested in older guns, you got to look up his channel, because he'll buy an old gun from a store, and he'll have like a 45-minute thing going through all of the patents that were involved with it and the history of the people that designed it and all sorts of stuff like that, and real deep dive. So, but I mean, I get into some of the history like that, but not quite as intense like that. I may look at stuff up for myself, but I don't put it on a video. I know a lot of people, you get to talking. If your video is more than 10 or 15 minutes long, they just click away and go somewhere else. So, and I try to keep with that. So, you got any interesting comments going on here?
Yes, unfortunately, people have a attention span of a goldfish.
I'm there.
So I'm curious, like, if somebody is going to walk into your room and you're showing them around, what is the one firearm that you go to, and what's that one story that you have for that firearm?
Well, I have, so when you walk into the room here, all the firearms are locked away over there. It's only the air guns that are, because in New York here, everything has to be locked up. If you're not using it, it has to be locked away. And I'm sure that's like that where you're at too.
Yep.
So, I mean, but it wouldn't take me long to unlock any of those cabinets over there and show people stuff. But I do have a couple of really nice target guns. I can show you guys this picture here real quick. This one is a bunch of really neat target guns that we've got some high standards here. These ones down here, that's a high standard from like 1920. This is a Browning Challenger. This one here is the one that I was actually looking for a picture of, but I couldn't find an individual picture of it. This is a Browning Medalist. And this one is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous gun. It was made in 1962, and it came in a presentation case with red velvet inside of it, and all the magazines and a little shell holder and back roads. Yeah, I do like Forgotten Weapons. I've watched him for years. But so let's see what else we got here. I've got this is a Ruger Mark II, really nice gun. This is another high standard. It's kind of got some military provenance to it, as far as it's like a trainer. It's got the 1911 style grips on it. So yeah, I really like shooting these. I shoot in a bullseye league. It's actually starting this coming up Tuesday, and I'll be shooting. So the gun that I actually shoot in that is in a different picture. Let me share that with you guys. And
is that something you're just starting into competition, or you've been doing it for a while?
I've been shooting in the bullseye leagues for quite a few years now. I've had my pistol permit for going on 10 years. So I started getting into that when I got my pistol permit. So let me share this other one with you guys. This one, everybody, you'll get a laugh out of this one. Everybody says I'm cheating when I shoot this gun. Because I shoot it with this longer barrel on it. That's a 10-inch barrel. Most of the guys got 4 to 6 inch barrels on their target pistols, and they say I'm cheating because I've got a 10-inch barrel, so I'm closer to the target. But yeah, this is the one that I shoot every year. I started out with that Browning Medalist. Actually, I started out with that Ruger Mark II the first couple years, and then I bought that Browning Medalist, and that I don't think that was ever fired before I bought it. So I really didn't want to beat it up. It looked like it was completely unfired before I bought it. I did shoot it for a couple of years in the competition, but then I found this one, and this one's got such an amazing trigger, and it's just an incredible shooting gun. I mean, I'm no Olympic pistol shooter or anything, but most of the guys are shooting with red dots and all these fancy newfangled stuff, and I keep right up with them with this 1952 high standard. So
it's like that guy at the Olympics where he's pretty much stood there with his hand in his pocket with no hearing protection or anything.
I did a couple videos spoofing him with my air pistols. Speaking of that, so this another gun that is just one that I absolutely adore is this this air pistol right up here.
Yep.
This one is a fine work bow model 65, and that one I just acquired this year. A fella from that watches my channel, he actually bought that brand new in 1985, and he shot it all these years, but turns out he's 85 years old, and he said, I just can't see the sights anymore.
Mm.
He says, I watch your channel, and I'd really love to have it in the hands of somebody who's going to really love it and enjoy it. So I was a little skeptical as far as sending money to somebody who just said that, I got this, send me a couple pictures. And he says, well, I'll send it to you, and then if you like it, you can send me the money afterwards. So how could I go wrong? So, but I've actually had a couple deals like that already. You just kind of get a reputation, especially like in the air gun community. I imagine it's like that in the firearm community too, but let's see, KRM, find these pieces locally. So honestly, 99% of the stuff I have, I've bought from local mom and pop shops. The job I do is field servicing electronic equipment, mostly like communications equipment for like 911 centers. And we cover about a 10 or 12 county area. And I do a lot of traveling around in the area, and I know where all the little shops are. So when I travel off to one of those counties that I haven't been to in a little while, I stop in and see if there's anything new. And, I always find neat stuff like that. So, but,
G'day, Josh. How are you doing, mate?
Hi, Josh.
But yeah, like those mum and pop shops, they've got all the good stuff.
Yep.
And even they like to collect different firearms and keep,
Sure.
Usually the good firearms are kept out the back somewhere. And when you get to know those people, that's when you can really find the gems.
Yeah, but there's a couple that are right here in town here, near me that know me by name, got my number on speed dial. So when something neat comes in, they'll pop me off a picture of it and ask me if I'm interested or not. And that's how I ended up getting those Quackenbushes there. A local family, their uncle had died. He was, a bachelor, never had any family, and they went in to clean out his apartment and went in and found a whole bunch of guns in his closet and took all the guns into this local gun shop. And they called me immediately about those air guns. And so I actually got those 3 Quackenbushes, plus I got a Quackenbush. Quackenbush also made 22 rifles. And so there was actually 4 guns in the lot that I got, but they didn't even know what they were. The family thought they were broken because they couldn't figure out how to work them. One of them was actually broken, and I was able to fix it, but the other ones were they weren't using them right. And I got them for a decent price, and they sell for a lot of money. Any one of those Quackenbush rifles I could put on eBay right now and get over $1,000 for. So I didn't pay $1,000 for the whole lot of them, but
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Not when you're getting those sort of deals. And, a lot of those sort of firearms will come up, especially with rules and regulations and license requirements. Western Australia, they're clamping down so much on what you can and can't have. And I was talking to some of the guys that, there's going to be a lot of good firearms come up very soon because people just don't want to deal with the laws and regulations, and they're selling them off fairly cheap. And or they're actually moving out of the state. So, those sort of circumstances, you can get yourself a really good deal.
So question for you. So I know you're in Australia, but you're near New Zealand. Several years ago, maybe like 8 or 10 years ago, New Zealand really cracked down on like magazine limits of all of the firearms, any firearm, didn't matter. So, and I know that like people had like old Remington pump actions that held 12 rounds and they had to turn them in to be destroyed. And people were just about in tears because they had their grandfather's old heirloom and, they couldn't keep it because it would hold 12, 22 rimfires. And is that something that is going on there in Australia as well, or how is that working there?
Yeah, exactly the same. We have magazine capacity limits.
Okay.
Which is frustrating. For most 22s, you can get a 10-round magazine, anything above that, they're not. You can't buy.
But like
I'm not.
a pump action with a 12-round tube, would that be restricted there?
I believe so. I'm not exactly 100% sure on
Okay.
like the pump action side of things, and even the center fire. But like just with the standard rim fires, you're limited
Tim
with
asks
10.
if you can really have too many. I haven't
Yeah.
gotten there yet, Tim.
Yeah. And Brian wants to know how you are still married.
she if she only knew. I don't question her about her 4 or 5 closets full of clothes, and she doesn't.
A few videos have popped up into my suggested videos and about camera equipment, and they're showing their wives or girlfriends how much a camera lens costs, and they're showing all the equipment. I'm like, don't do that. They don't show them how much things cost.
I seen a couple of like spoof videos where the girl brought in, like a AR-15 that costs like $1,500, and says, well, my husband said if anything ever happened to me, just to sell these so that I could take care of myself, and he told me he paid $150 for it, so I'd take $150 for it. That sort of thing, just like a spoof video. But
no.
I pay all the bills. I make sure all the bills are paid. So, and then I get the money, whatever I want afterwards. So
it certainly sounds like a fair deal. After you do all the work and get everything done, and whatever's left. Is there much of a challenge going to the range there with all the different firearms and things like that?
No, I just grab a handful of them and take them out with me. It can be a chore to pack everything out, but it's a lot of fun. It's almost like a second job for me now, but
So
I've gotten
YouTube,
so used to doing it.
Like creating videos how did that start for you?
Well, I've had my YouTube channel for like going on 12 years now, and it started out literally just posting videos. So that's another picture that I had that I showed you earlier. Let me pop that one back up again. So I had an old Jeep, and let me share that with you guys. What did I do here? I had this old Jeep, and I would take that and clamp a couple magnetic cameras on the side of it and stuff, and haul off out through the woods, and then take it back and start editing it, and put some country song on there while I'm bebopping through the woods, and had a lot of fun with that. And but that gets old. That gets old when you break stuff, and then you got to figure out how you're going to get it home. And when you break, if you accidentally break your rifle when you're at the range, you just throw it in the car and bring it home. But when that breaks, it's a little more of a challenge. So, but no, I love doing that. I would actually love to build another truck. I'd like to find a little single cab Toyota and build another 4x4 someday, maybe soon. I don't know. But I had a lot of fun with it. But I had that one for a number of years, and obviously you see it's a little modified. When I bought it, it was a completely stock Jeep. Built all new axles for it, complete new suspension, and it was a lot of fun. But we had adopted a dog, and he was a handful, and so I was taking a lot of time training him and taking him running and taking him to the park and everything. And this thing was just sitting. So I ended up selling it to one of the other members of this. It's not even a thing anymore, but this used to be the website for the local club, CNY Jeep. And as far as I know, he still got it. Still 4 wheels with it, but that was over 10 years ago now, because we actually just lost our puppies this year. So, and we had that dog for over 10 years. So
It seems to be like everybody that I've spoken to so far are into cars. And George says most gun guys are gearheads.
yeah, yeah, I've had a couple of nice four-wheelers over the years. Had a nice Blazer years ago that had a pretty hot rod engine in it, and that was another one that it was fun to drive until it broke, which it broke a lot because I drove it hard. But so I was wondering. I watched several of your other live streams and stuff, and I heard you talking about you used to be a competitive swimmer and stuff, and I found that very interesting. I love swimming. I grew up swimming. I'm still only like a mile away from the lake that I grew up living on and having a boat and going out. And when I was younger, I wasn't really competitive, but I was actually a Red Cross lifeguard trained, Boy Scout life-saving merit badge trained swimmer. And probably it's going on 6 years ago now, I had a hip replacement done. And after doing all the physical therapy at the physical therapist, they recommended that I look into doing some swimming for, more physical therapy. And I started getting into that, and I actually was going for 2 complete years. And then when COVID hit, they shut down the pools, so I couldn't go anymore. So that now since we've lost our dogs, I'm really considering actually rejoining the pool and start to go again and start to swim again. So it was absolutely great. Every morning I would get up, eat my breakfast, feed the dogs, and off I'd go and swim for 45 minutes to an hour and before I went to work. So
Yeah, certainly is a great sport. And I just quickly answered Josh, probably around about 15 minutes, mate. Yeah, like swimming, certainly has been a massive part of my life. Obviously, not now, but when I was younger, was a massive part. And look back, it was hard, a lot of hard work, and
sure.
a lot of work went into that. But was able to go around and see different parts of the world and represent Australia through that.
I was going to ask,
and,
did you actually travel outside of Australia doing that?
I did. South America into Argentina, South Korea, Czech Republic, New Zealand a few times. Never went to the States, but went over to Argentina. It was a pretty wild place, but it was a really, really good experience, and it taught me a hell of a lot. And
Sure.
a lot of the discipline that I have now is certainly attributed to going to the pool twice a day, at least 2 hours in the water. Countless and countless and countless of miles or kilometers, whatever you want to call it, in the water. So certainly was a great experience.
Sure.
Because he's got a 1977 CJ5.
That's an awesome Jeep. I'd love to find a CJ5 that's not completely rotted to the ground and build one of those. It's kind of my dream to either find a CJ5 or even an old like a CJ2 or something like that from back in the 40s, just after World War II, and build a four-wheeler out of one of those. But man, if you find one that's in any kind of even restorable shape now, it's going to cost you, an arm and a leg and a kidney.
I'm assuming you'd be familiar with Willys Jeeps.
Yeah. That's the 1942 or 1940s CJ2 would have been still a Willys branded Jeep. Yep.
Yeah, there's actually a really nice one going around where I live. It's painted fluoro green, not the army green, but like a bright,
right.
Bright green, and they've restored it, and it's on the road as a everyday drive, and it's really good to see those vehicles still kicking around and people are using them.
Yeah.
In the day-to-day lives.
I know, like down south, you can usually find one like that somebody stuck in a hedgerow and forgot about it, and it isn't like completely rusted to the ground. But up here, if there's anything left of it, you're going to just spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Uh, it's just crazy how much they want for stuff like that. And if it has any military like that one, any military background at all from being a military Jeep, it's tens of thousands of dollars even for a Hulk. So I had one more question for you. What sort of work do you do?
Yes, at the moment I own and operate a cleaning business. So
Okay.
got four depends on the day, but 4 or 5 staff working for me.
Yeah.
Looking at doing another recruitment drive to
Okay.
expand the business a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm sort of procrastinating a lot with that because sometimes
Understand.
managing staff can be a little bit challenging.
Yep.
But it also is extremely rewarding as well. But that's something I've only been doing for the last year and a half. And prior to that, worked in disability services. So, and hopefully be changing career again in the next couple of years. So,
what's on the horizon?
Counselling. So learning to be a counsellor, and then I'm doing my bachelor's at the moment, and then I'll do a further degree in psychology. So lots of work.
Yeah. Like I said, I work in electronics. I don't have any intention on retiring anytime soon, but if YouTube takes off any more than it has been, it might be able to. So, but yeah, I mean, I got probably 5 or 6 years before I can really think about retiring, but I'm healthy.
Yeah, I sort of got a little bit like with the birth of my son. I sort of like had like a oh shit moment where it's like shit, I got to do something. Shit, like so it was a bit of a shock. So
yeah. How old is he now?
And what is he? 9 months and two days.
Oh, so he's not long ago.
No, not at all. So very much.
Well, congratulations, Dad.
Thank you. Yeah, so very much in the whirlwind of all that at the moment, and obviously wanting to get a career that is sustainable. Mental health and counselling is a very sustainable career.
Sure.
Because obviously, I can't go out and labour, so I've got to do something with my brain.
You're not going to go out and lay any bricks?
No, bugger that, too hot. Yeah, so all that sort of stuff I want to get into, and I've done my party time and done all those silly things, and now I'm sort of almost 40.
I was in the Navy. Is that said enough?
So time to knuckle down and get something for the long term. So
yeah, all my kids are grown up and gone. Got 4 grandkids. So
yeah,
got my coffee mug too.
Yes, I see that you've got some cups, some channel specific cups.
So I've got my t-shirts. I just started getting cups. Actually, the only person besides me that has one of these is Hasbro. So far, it was.
Well, there you go.
I did a giveaway in conjunction with his Hasbro Christmas challenge that he's got going on, and he was actually the winner, and I didn't plan it that way. It was a totally random comment picker. So, but he ended up picking the cup. So I do have some winter beanies coming that have the logo on it too. So that'll be fun.
Certainly, like getting into the merchandise and
I don't want to be that guy that's just hawking t-shirts and that's all I do, but everybody, I've sold quite a few t-shirts, but I had so many people, asking me all the time, when are you going to get t-shirts? When are you going to get t-shirts? That was the big thing. So, but I didn't have a logo. So this logo was actually literally just done up by this last year by Low Key Air Gunner up in Canada. And I didn't even know he was doing it. But out of the blue, he just sent me a bunch of different designs. And this is the one that really stuck out to me. And I picked it and I asked him if he wanted anything for it. I've sent him several things in the mail anyway, to do on his channel anyway. So I think that was his thanks for, me sending him a few things, but it didn't cost him anything except for, a few hours of labor, but it's a really, really cool design. So
It certainly is.
probably see the coffee mug better. But,
yeah.
yeah. And, so this one's doesn't have any background on it, so it's a little less busy. Some of the other ones he had like wooden backgrounds on them and stuff. And on the coffee mug, it's not too bad, but going onto a T-shirt, it doesn't work too well. So
Yeah, right. I just put you up large so we can see your. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and he's got like a Red Ryder down here and a 22, and then 22 bullet over there, and a couple pellets over there. So, oh, pretty good.
Well, hopefully everybody jumps.
If anybody is interested in getting one of those from me, if you go on one of my videos, every one of my videos, my email address is down in the description of the video. So, and it's not just to sell stuff, because I got a lot of people asking me questions about, how can I get my gun fixed, or, my air gun. And I do some of that. I'm not trying to have that as a business. I have gotten a number of guns in from people and done repairs for them. I still have 8 or 10 here that I'm working on getting parts for other people and stuff, and some of my own. Most of these ones up here I bought as, unrepaired Hulks that needed to be restored and repaired. And I get them cheap because, like, one of these will cost you $400 or $500 if you get them in working condition, $300-400 anyway. But if you get them broken and not working, you can get them for $100 or less. So, yeah, Brian says they're all jealous of my mug. That's right.
And George reckons you cost him some money. He has the Belva 6B24.
Yeah, that's a fabulous scope. I found mine on eBay, and they claimed that it was non-functional. So they didn't really describe what was non-functional about it. And so I took a chance on it. Nobody bid on it except for me. I got it for less than $200. And it turned out that all the controls for elevation and windage and the, what do you call it? The adjustment for the focus adjustment on the front was completely froze up. Somebody had lubricated it with WD-40, who knows how many decades ago, and it was just all completely bound up from crystallized WD-40. And I was able to clean it all out and get it going. So now I've got like a $1,500 scope that I paid $200 for.
Here we go. And Jim, he reckons he's got I can't even pronounce half these words, but a HW30s now wants a 50 or a 95.
Oh yeah, since Jim's been watching my channel, he's bought a couple of air guns, and he keeps telling me about the other ones that he wants to get. That's a lot of fun, but it's addictive. It can be addictive, obviously, right? And then we've got. Let me just. There we go over here. Did you see that?
Nope, you go again. I just made a big for everybody.
So we've got this is the miscellaneous rack over here.
Miscellaneous rack.
These are just like all the antiques up here, the stuff that's like 1970 or older.
Plenty of good ones.
Those are a lot of. There's a lot of nice guns over there, but it's just that this is like the kind of the cream of the crop, I guess you could say.
So I get onto the last section. I just want to first of all say congratulations on the 15,000 subscribers, because I know you recently pushed that over.
Pushing 16,000.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you just want to talk about your channel a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up. Hey.
Sure. What would you like to know? I mean, like
what do you got coming up in the future, and like obviously, a few of your plans and everything like that.
Well, when I hit 10,000 subscribers, it was like somebody opened up a floodgate, and I just got hundreds of emails from all these different companies wanting me to do reviews for them. And a lot of it was really crap, just to say. And I just said no. Some of the stuff I didn't know, so I got them to send it to me. But that's really kind of toned down a lot. But I've made some really good relationships with a fella at Rayton, a couple of people at Discovery Opt. I really like their scopes. CV Life is really, really putting out some great stuff in the budget category. And so, they're coming out with new stuff, and they're contacting me, wanting me to do the reviews for them. A couple of airgun companies, I've gotten some stuff for review. I just recently got a Noric of Veritas that I just did a quick review on. I had it out today, actually, and did a little bit of shooting with it. That video will be coming up soon. But it's kind of exciting getting, free stuff. But,
oh, yeah. But the big thing is what you said is some of it is crap. And this is why I like Cyclops Joe. He tells you how it is. And
right.
That's the way it should be. And
yeah,
like, obviously,
I do like Joe. He's a lot of fun.
He is. And obviously, you had this really awesome video of your Crossman, the M1 carbine.
That really kind of blew things up for me this past fall. Yeah. So that one, it hasn't quite made it to 200,000 views, but it's should be by the end of the week. It's still, so that it started out and just like 10,000, 15,000 views a day for like weeks. And but it's toned down, and now it's only at like a couple thousand views every couple days. But so it'll be over 200,000 views real shortly. And so the first one that you're pointing there is actually the follow-up video that I did to the one that's right next to it. So that was the first one that I did. And I really didn't know how to load it and stuff. So I was kind of fumbling around, and I really got some pretty heavy pushback from some people. But even negative comments are, still drive the algorithm. So I really didn't care too much. That one's got 170,000 views or something like that. But the next day I went out and did that second one and posted that one up. And so for like 2 months straight, I was getting, almost double the views that I normally get. So, and it's still going. And I've added like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers since then because of that. And, it really was a nice bump. It really helped out. And, I could use a couple more like that, and then I'd be able to retire.
Yeah, we all could.
But it was a really nice. But yeah, I love doing the reviews. I don't want it to be. There's a channel that I really used to love. It's called Project Farm. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah,
he does a lot of tool reviews, and I still watch some of his stuff. But when he started out, he was just doing fun stuff, going out and blowing up lawnmower engines, putting honey in them, and seeing how long they'd run with honey instead of motor oil. I love that kind of stuff, and I think that's why a lot of people like my channel, because I just go out and shoot guns. I don't try to be, super, top Olympic shooter or anything like that. Just go out and have fun, knock over cans, and shoot a couple pieces of paper. Have fun with it. I like doing the reviews, but I don't want it just to become just that. So,
yeah,
it's fun, and it gives me something to do in the garage here when it's real cold outside. So,
plus you're helping people filling up their basements with guns as well. So,
well, yeah, that too. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff. I was doing giveaways, and I really need to get back into it because a lot of this stuff here, I really love it, but I can't use it all. And I had been giving it away. I bet, like, especially I have like a Patreon, and I have a channel membership, and I've got like 60 or 70 people between the two of them. And I was actually doing drawings every month from those people that are in that pool of people, and giving away a gun, giving away a scope, giving away a red dot, an air gun, not a real gun, but
yeah.
And it got real busy over the summer, and I kind of got away from it, but now I need to get back into it again because things are just starting to pile up around here, and I got to get some stuff out of here.
Yeah, well, as Josh says, keep it fun. It can become real work quick otherwise. So
yeah, yeah. And it's been probably 3 years. I've been really working hard at it, and I've had at least one video to post every morning over those past 3 years. And I'm toying around with cutting it back a little bit to maybe like 3 or 4 videos a week or 2 or 3 videos a week. I don't know how much pushback I'd get from all of the people that love to watch, because there's a group of like 400 or 500 people right now that seem like they're just waiting for that 8 o'clock video to drop, because my videos every video I put up now gets like 300 or 400 views within the first couple hours. And then some of them still take off and get thousands of views, but some of them just get those 400 or 500 views and then stop. But it's like within the first couple hours. So there's a group, like this real niche group of people that are, watching my channel religiously. And if I drop back to only 2 or 3 videos a week, I don't know if they would fall away. I don't know. I guess but it is. Sometimes it can be just a chore to make sure that the video is monetized and that it's not breaking any rules, and everything's set and ready to go with it, to have one ready for every day. So,
well, Brian's saying, if you want to give something away, he's got his charity.
well, I am donating a Red Ryder to the giveaway that he's going to do for the end of his Christmas challenge, which I've got a couple more videos in the queue already for that. I see Brian just did a video with his 499B and got a 73 on it. That's a real good score, but it's not perfect.
Here we go. Yeah, Josh reckons that video every day is not good for your channel versus 2 or 3 a week. So I guess, play around with it and see how your viewers respond to it, I guess.
Yeah. I was thinking about sitting down here in the next week or so and just doing a video kind of like this, just talking to everybody on the channel and letting them, get people's ideas on, would they want to see it on, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, or just the random drops or what, if I did go to something like that. So,
yeah.
But
anyway,
I'm still having fun with it, so I'm not too worried about it. And I've got a couple weeks worth of videos already in the pool right now. So even if I keeled over, you guys wouldn't know about it until, mid-January. So.
All right, Nibs, I just want to say thank you so much once again for joining us. It's been fascinating to have a little sneak peek into your collection and the history behind your collection. So, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching the other ones you did, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to have this conversation with you as well. So, and I appreciate letting me be on with you.
No, all good, mate. All good. Just want to say thank you for Josh and Brian and Chris, George and TJ, Tim. Oh, there's back roads, air gunning, KRM. Thank you guys for joining us. Gaytan was in there as well, and so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. So, yeah, once again, make sure you go check out Nibs's channel. Plenty of exciting things to do. Make sure you buy a shirt, get yourself a mug.
Yeah.
That way, Brian is not the only person. That's so everybody's like not jealous. So.
Yeah. I've like I said, I've sold a bunch of T-shirts, and it's pretty cheap. They're only like $20. If you need a 2XL, it's $23. But I just all I need is send me the $20 and your address, and I'll have it drop shipped to you. It takes about 2 weeks to get it in your hands, so pretty easy. And the mugs are about the same price. I haven't really worked that out yet. I'm still that's in the infancy. So, but I really appreciate it, and maybe we'll do it again in another year.
Most definitely, yes.
Sure.
Like all everything like that. So, it'd be good to catch up once again to see how everything's going with the channel and yourself. And
yeah,
no, that's the whole point of these streams, is that we can get to know each other, and everybody else can ask questions, and it's just that's why I call it behind the scope, because I want to learn more about the person.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
It's not all I do, but it is most of what I do.
All right, Nibs. Thank you once again, and we'll see
care.
everybody later.